Hello, my name is Paulette Morris. I'm the teacher for Open Heart Sangha here in Colorado Springs. I've been practicing meditation and Buddhist practice for several decades now, and have been teaching for a little more than 15 years. And so today we're here to talk about and to practice meditation. So just a couple of things about what meditation is and isn't. Meditation is a way of training the mind. It is the basic premise to train the mind and to open the heart, to train the mind and to open the heart. The place that we usually begin with this mind training is with the breath. The breath is always accessible and it's easy for us to find. So we begin by placing our attention on the object of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then the mind moves away and starts to think, because everybody's mind is very busy. So we start to think, and as soon as we realize that we're no longer watching the breath, we bring the attention back to the breath. And then a few seconds later we're thinking. And then we bring the mind back to the breath. What this does for us is that it trains us to kind of corral the mind. The mind is like a wild horse or like a wild elephant. So we learn then to kind of corral the mind, to contain it, to bring it back to the focus. And then this calms the body. When the mind is agitated and running wild, then the body also picks up that agitation, of course. So the mind and the body are then agitated. If we bring our mind continually to a focus, like the breath, then the mind and the body both begin to calm. This really enhances our ability to concentrate, to relax, to focus, and to be mindful in our day and in our life.
And so what about for people who might be looking at meditation or have tried meditation before, and the thing that they always say is, I can't meditate because my mind never stops?
Right.
I mean, so is the purpose here to actually get the mind to stop thinking, or what? I mean,
Right.
yeah.
That's what everybody says, is that, I can't stop thinking, so I can't meditate. But none of us can stop thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the mind does. It's the mind's job is to think. And so we allow it to do its job, but we're focusing. So it's like, they say you can't think about two things at the same time, but really, believe me, you can. You can be sitting and counting your breath and also making the grocery list at the very same time.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is we learn to place our attention and then to remain with the focus of attention. That's why the breath is the place where we start, because it's so accessible and easy. And it's not outside of ourselves. We're really working with ourselves internally in meditation. So yes, a lot of people focus on a candle, but we focus on something that is internal, always accessible, always with us.
Right, so I could do it anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere,
right.
anytime.
So what should my expectation be of meditation?
That eventually
Like 50 years from now?
the body and the mind will calm. It's difficult to say, I'm gonna feel better. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Right, but for our purposes here, I mean, it would definitely help maybe bring us into our bodies so that we can move into our stretch practice, or
Right. Or to calm.
or to get ready for bed, or if, let's say, I just had an argument with a coworker or a boss at work, this might be something I could, take a 5-minute time out and just kind of come back into my body so that I don't say something that I regret later and get fired, or, lose a friendship. Especially in today's climate, it's very challenging.
A lot of tension
Yeah,
in
there's
our
a lot of
interpersonal
tension, yeah.
relationships, and even in our business relationships.
Right.
There's a lot of tension,
Right.
and this can help us center, come back into the body, right? Because we kind of launch out of our bodies a lot of time in the midst of conflict, or or in the midst of tension.
Mm-hmm.
We have a
And
tendency
anxiety rises, and
right,
then we just are kind of reacting.
right, and we're sort of over here, but not here, really in touch with our emotions. We're just really taken over by our thinking and that kind of reaction, the reactivity that we have in stressful situations. So meditation really can help us to settle, come back into the body, quiet the mind for a few minutes. Just that breathing can really quiet the mind for a few minutes.
Right. And so I know that you're Buddhist, and you've been Buddhist for many, many years, since you were 18 years old, basically. But what would you say to people who might be Christian or Muslim or Jewish or even agnostic or atheist, who might shy away from meditation because it's kind of got this stereotype of affiliation with some wackadoodle Buddhist, spiritual practice, or devil worshipping, or, I mean, really, I've heard all kinds of things and had my own ideas, over the years. So what would you say to that for people who might be kind of conflicted?
Well, meditation has been taught for millennia, and millennia before the Buddha was born, even. I mean, it is a basic practice. Yes, it is an Eastern practice, but it's also a Native American, it's an American indigenous practice as well. And, when you think of the spirit walks of the Native people, and here in Australia, around the world, there's a common theme. And even, in the Christian religion and in the Jewish religions, David would talk about, the meditations of the mind and heart. So it's not exclusive to Eastern practice. It's not exclusively an Eastern practice, but it is most commonly affiliated, right, with Eastern practices. So meditation is not religious.
Yeah.
This is not a religious practice. It is a practice that connects us with our own selves. It is a way for us to really drop down into our own hearts and to be present with ourselves in a deeper way. Certainly there are a lot of ways that one can meditate that's really, we're really up in the head and thinking a lot about it. But it is the hope that in meditation what we do is we let go of all of that thinking and experience being in the body and in the heart as well.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's meditate, huh?
Let's meditate. All right. I'll ring the bell. We'll meditate.
Before we do that,
Yeah.
Just explain posture really quick.
Sure. So if you're sitting on a cushion, Nicole and I are sitting on our cushions. If you're sitting on the cushion, the posture is to be upright. Shoulders are back so that the energy can flow through the chest, through the heart and the lungs. The head is over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And this is actually a very relaxed posture. This is not rigid. There's no rigidity in the body. If you're sitting in a chair, it's best to have the feet flat on the floor, but not leaning back against the seat, but again upright, shoulders over the hips. You can certainly lie down to meditate. That's an appropriate posture, is lying down, especially if you're recovering from a workout or recovering from a difficult day and you need to just take a minute, right? You can lie down and just breathe. Just be with your body. Be with your body breathing, clearing the mind. Yes, and you can walk. Walking meditation is a great practice.